How's everyone doing? Welcome back to another episode of the Banker Next Door. I am your host, Dr. Joe Berquist. Very quickly, I just want to give a shout out to all of the students and faculty at the Stonier Graduate School of Banking. This is as Stonier Week continues this week. I'm rocking my little Stonier t-shirt here, all week this week. As it just, like I said, just wanted to give a shout out to everybody over there. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about, how should AI be regulated? And I just wanted to show everybody two things. So here was an article from the Wall Street Journal, which I thought was really interesting. And after we go through this article, I'm going to read you a blog post from Emily McCormick over at Bank Director called, who will regulate AI? So this article here from the Wall Street Journal, I'm not going to read through it. I'm just going to give you guys kind of the synopsis of it. So the giants of Silicon Valley are having a midlife crisis over AI. So they're basically facing what's called the innovator's dilemma. This was one of my favorite books right here, The Innovator's Dilemma, written by Dr. Clayton Christensen, a great man, God rest his soul. But The Innovator's Dilemma was a game changer because it brought forth the idea of disruption, which obviously became a huge thing back in the 90s, early 2000s. Everybody wanted to become a disruptor, right? Everyone wanted to become a unicorn. So, and that's what's basically going on with Silicon Valley right now with AI. Basically, you've got all the main players at the same time are all battling intensely over the future of AI and who can become the dominant player, because whoever basically wins the AI race, whoever can figure out a way to become the dominant player in AI is going to become the dominant company. And it remains to be seen whether there will be able to be multiple companies that could dominate in the space or whether it just becomes a single company. We don't know yet. But the big question that lingers around all this is regulation. Like right now, there's not a little regulation around AI. There's zero regulation around AI, nothing. And that I've seen a lot of media, a lot of people talking over the last couple months about we need to have more safeguards around AI. You just had a lot of these guys up on Capitol Hill testifying, talking in front of the Senate, in front of Congress, getting asked a lot of questions about a lot of important things, the singularity, transhumanism, a lot of these different things. There's a lot more that goes into AI than just being able to create, some kind of artificial intelligence that can do certain things, I have maintained that there are two types of people in the AI world. There's technologists and there are transhumanists. The technologists are people that just want to create a technology that can make things better, just because they have a pure love of technology. They think technology could do things to make things easier, faster, cheaper, more efficient, make quality of life better, so on and so forth. Then you have transhumanists, which unfortunately a lot of people are transhumanists. They believe in the singularity. They believe in the AI God. They are atheists. They care not or think not of any kind of spirituality in the sense of a religious context. This is a major, major problem. And, and people, and like I said, I don't think that people truly understand the whole they just don't understand it. They don't understand what transhumanism is. They don't understand what it means. And they don't understand how many people believe in this thing. They don't understand what the singularity is. They don't understand this concept of creating the AI God and then having that AI create other AI and then ultimately get to a point where human beings just get replaced. And then being able to, and I'm not joking, upload your consciousness to the cloud to basically achieve immortality. That's what they want. That's the transhumanist. That is their ultimate goal. Plug the thing into your brain, upload your consciousness, and basically you can then exist forever in as part of this AI world. So it gives credence to a lot of different things, but all these big AI companies, they're struggling with this because you have a lot of smaller players that are coming into the space. And those smaller players have the ability. They're more nimble. They can move faster. They can, do things maybe perhaps a little bit better than these bigger players in this space. And that's giving them a whole lot of consternation. Basically what happens if one of these little players slides by us and basically takes over? Where does that leave us? That's the big, concern right there. So that being said, let me just read you this blog post from Emily McCormick. So who will regulate AI? So the reconciliation package working its way through Congress, dubbed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, could unwind state-level efforts to regulate artificial intelligence. Buried within the legislation is a provision that would prohibit states from regulating AI and automated decision technology over the next decade. As of Thursday, the bill had passed in the House. So far, regulating AI has largely been left to the states, altering images, audio, and media, and addressed through legislation passed in Alabama and Utah, according to Brian Cave Leighton-Praisner. California has several AI-related laws on the books. Among them, developers in the Golden State must disclose whether an individual's data is used to train AI models, if content or advertising was created using generative AI, among other protections. Several states give consumers the right to opt out of companies using their data for automated decisions. More recently, state legislators have emphasized transparency, disclosing how models are trained, what information is used, and when consumers are interacting with a bot, says Goli Mavdavi, a partner and global AI lead at Brian Cave. State lawmakers are concerned about how automated decisions are made, particularly for housing, financial services, and employment via what are termed high-risk AI systems due to the potential for consumer harm. A Colorado law requires developers of those systems to use reasonable care to avoid algorithmic discrimination, according to Brian Cave, and includes transparency and auditing requirements for developers. Protections like those could help companies strengthen their contracts with AI vendors. As financial institutions increasingly rely on AI, bank leaders need to understand what's in the models they're using. No one wants to run afoul of existing consumer protection laws, which are tech agnostic. If you make a discriminatory housing decision, whether that decision is made by a human or a machine, the law applies equally. Federal legislation doesn't yet address these issues, she says, but as financial institutions deploy AI technology, some legal protections could help them work with their technology providers to balance compliance and trust with innovation. So again, we're left with this, just very gray area. Do I think that banks should have the ability to regulate AI? Yes, but to a degree. I don't think you should tell any state what they fully can or can't do in any area, right? We're supposed to be a free country, right? But I do think that you need guidance at the federal level. You need federal laws and regulations around AI that apply to everyone equally. Because I think the one issue with the states is that, look, California, no doubt that they will come up with crazy stuff. Okay, no doubt. I think some states will approach it more practically. Some states will take a more even approach. Some states will be more heavy-handed. Some states will be very light and easygoing on it. It all depends. And that's why I think we need a federal framework that basically lays out like, okay, how is AI going to operate? How is it going to be used? What kind of data gets used in it? And I think one of the biggest problems for banks is, you get into, you want to adopt AI, right? Well, what's in it? What's in the model? Like, how do you know that this thing is not going to cause you problems or run afoul of existing regulation like fair lending laws, Equal Credit Opportunity Act, all this kind of stuff? We don't know that. That's the problem. We don't know that. And if anybody tells you that they do, they don't. They don't. Because you have to believe that whatever vendor that you're using that is providing said AI to you is being fully upfront and disclosing. But why would they do that? Because it's like the secret sauce. Why are they gonna put the secret sauce out there and tell you every little thing that they're doing? So again, I just think this adds for a lot of heavy thought. You must give very heavy, careful thought to the whole AI conversation. How are you going to use AI at your bank? How is this regulation going to play out over time? Will the regulation be sufficient enough to kind of tame AI before it gets too far, maybe too far gone? There's a lot to consider here in this conversation. So again, and I pose this to everyone today, and hopefully a way to be very thought provoking. I would be very interested to hear everyone's take and comments on this particular conversation, this particular topic. So please be sure to leave your comments down below. So, but with that being said, a lot more to come on this, no doubt, and we will see where this journey takes us with AI in the months and years ahead. So, but with that being said, I'm going to wrap up by saying if you like this episode, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. That always helps the channel. Remember, we are on YouTube, Rumble, and all major podcast platforms. Please be sure to leave your comments down below. And as always, remember to check out some of the other content on the channel. Thank you so much for listening and watching. And I hope to see everyone again real soon. Thanks a lot.